What is up, everybody? Thank you for checking out my video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about face protection when you're playing Airsoft. So this person commented on another video that I made and said that it would be nice to see an overview of the face protection that I use. So thank you for giving me a good reason to make this video. I've been wanting to do it. This video is just for you. So first and foremost, the main reason for face protection in Airsoft is to protect your eyes. It is an absolute requirement no matter what the circumstances are. Once your eyes are covered, then it just comes down to if you want to protect your mouth and teeth and maybe even your ears. So I'm going to go over two of my face protection setups that I found to be the best for me. I'm going to get the boring one out of the way first because I honestly don't really run this too much anymore. But this is my OG, triple OG Airsoft mask. So this is what I want out of Airsoft face protection. I want my eyes protected, obviously. And the next thing I really care about is protecting my teeth. When I was younger, my mom spent a lot of money to make my teeth a lot nicer than what they were. If my mom found out that I was a grown-ass adult running around the woods like a moron with a toy gun and I got my teeth shot out, she'd probably whoop my ass. Thanks, Mom. I love you. But anyway, I'd also like my face pro to be as comfortable as possible, and god damn it, I do not want it to fog. So this setup right here, I ran for years once I got it set up the way I liked it. It's just whatever Airsoft mask fits your face nicely, and they usually come with the straps. It's two that go around your head. So I stand by these goggles. They're made by Guard Dogs. You can probably find them on Amazon still. I know Evike had them at some point. But the reason I like these is because they are really good for clearing prescription glasses. And I always wear glasses. I absolutely hate contacts. But I basically zip tied the Guard Dog goggles to my mesh mask, and then there's only one strap, so I can just throw it on over my head and I don't have to worry about a bunch of extra straps crossing. And then I ripped the foam that came on the goggles off the top, and I made this little thicker padding with some gun case foam wrapped in a bandana. It was just a lot more comfortable against my face and forehead, and then the bandana actually helped collect sweat on a hot day. I gave the front mesh portion a quick little paint job just with some random rattle cans. And then I took a Phillips head screwdriver and I kind of spread the mesh a little bit in a couple areas. I didn't make the holes as big as a BB to avoid a BB passing through. But the reason behind that is when you're breathing and exhaling, I was hoping that slightly bigger holes would give a little more ventilation, because if you're breathing and your mouth is confined, it just helps more heat rise and fog your mask. And then speaking of fog, it's terrible. I've talked about this before. Fog will ruin Airsoft for anyone. If you can't see, there's no point in playing. So I stand by having some form of mask fan. If you do not have a goggle setup where you're fortunate enough to just not have fog, which it is possible, but there's a lot of variables. If you fog and can't avoid it, you need a mask fan. It can be a DIY one that I have a video on from years ago. It could be an X-Fog. It could be the glasses that have built-in fans. Whatever it may be, if you fog, do something to have some form of circulation. And this is basically just a AAA or AA battery box and a little computer printer fan. You can find all the parts on Amazon. And I have it mounted on this side of my face. I'm a lefty, so if I shoulder my rifle, the way I play when I snipe, I don't really find myself switching shoulders. It's a great skill to have. But I, can still shoulder my gun. This battery box doesn't get in the way. And if you do this setup, and it would, you could simply just mount the box somewhere else, on the top of the mask, on the side of your head, whatever, the side of the strap. But you just click the fan on or hit the switch. And if you get a fan like this, it's pretty quiet. You don't really notice it. I know when I'm recording, the GoPro might pick it up, but it's real faint. And even if it's not super high speed, it's just a little bit of circulation, and that's enough to keep your mask clear. So I actually think that the fan in this is a AAA battery switch pack. And then I kind of made this updated AA battery switch pack, mainly because this was the only thing in my kit that took AAAs, whereas things such as my night vision took a AA. So I wanted to make sure I had something that shared the same battery so I didn't have to carry multiple batteries. But this one, I cleaned up the harness a little bit. So the fan and plug is separate from the battery pack and plug. And then that way, if I would ever have a mask and fan setup and I wanted to disconnect it without ripping the wires, I can just plug this in, maybe route it different ways, hit the switch. And this one, you can tell, is a little higher powered. Maybe these batteries have a better charge, or it just has a different amp rating. But this one will really get the circulation flowing to clear up that fog. However, as nice as this setup is, and as much as I love it, it's pretty much chopped liver to me now. I don't really run it anymore. What I run now, and I think is my endgame Face Pro setup, is just this little simple minimalist mesh mouth guard. Now there's a lot of like wiring and straps and cordage here, so it looks kind of complicated, but I promise you it's really good, so let me explain. So before I talk about the mask, I want to talk about the actual eye pro. I wear prescription glasses, like I said, and I switched to having prescription safety glasses. And one thing, I don't know if I mentioned this, when you have your eye protection, they have to be ANSI rated. I forget the exact number. I think it's ANSI Z87.1. I'll put it up here on the screen. And that's basically an impact rating where the Airsoft BB, when it's within field limits, won't go through your glasses. Absolutely required. Please do not go to your local bum-ass hardware store and get some cheap-ass rinky-dink safety glasses. They have to be ANSI rated. I just tried to make sure that there was some type of seal on it. But here, so these glasses here, these are just my regular glasses. There's like a pocket here where I can straight up stick my finger. Now these obviously don't wear them for Airsoft, but if I got these with ANSI rated lenses, that doesn't mean that they're okay to go to an Airsoft field. You want something like this that essentially curves around your face, and they have like little extra guards here, and they have the seal on the top because it like gives that protection barrier. It's not like open on the sides like my normal glasses. So if you get prescription glasses like me, try and get something that has some form of gasket like this at the top. But these are from Zenni. I get all of my glasses from Zenni. I wish I could say that this video is sponsored by them because they just have great deals. All you need is your prescription and you can go online and order glasses. So I bought these with the ANSI rated lenses. Now I'm going to talk about my face protection setup, which so far is my absolute favorite. So before I ran this lower mesh setup, I ran an even smaller mesh mouthpiece. You can make your own, you can get them on e-bike, but they rely on a balaclava. Like you have to wear the balaclava and then like tuck the mouthpiece in. And the whole reason I don't like that and almost didn't get this is because when it's hot in the summer, I do not want to wear this. It is way too fucking hot. You'll sweat your ass off and it's absolutely miserable. So it comes back to the comfort thing. So I like this because it gives a little more protection than the smaller mesh mouthpiece, and it curves around your face. So I mess with it. I did wear it with the balaclava, and the cool thing is NB Tactical makes their own balaclava, and it's basically one that is perforated, or it's like a little more breathable, and that is very nice. It does help, but still at the end of the day, you're putting a layer over your head, and it's just too hot. So I ended up just taking some stretchy paracord and routing it through and then having like the little cinch tab to pull it tight. But I had to route the cord a certain way in order to get it to stay on my face comfortably. If you run just one point of contact to the back of your neck, it will like always fall down. So the way that I routed the cord through, there's two different parts of the cord that go around your head and neck. So it looks a little complicated to put on, but it's stretchy. So you can just put it on, hang it around your neck if you want. And then I just put it over my mouth, put this piece like in front of my ears and kind of like on the top of my head. And then it stays on now, which is fine. But then I can just pull this cinch tab here and make it even tighter if I want. I mean, my mouth is a little restricted. Looks kind of weird because I'm just sitting here talking with it. But anyway, let me just take this back off here. Now, another huge factor for me for this specific mouthpiece is that your nose is exposed. Now, some people might be like, well, why would you want that? Let me just say that running this with my nose exposed is a night and day difference for fog. And it's because when it's over my face and I'm breathing, I try not to be a mouth breather, but when you're breathing, your breath is like going over the mask. It's not like covered and trapped, like I said earlier, where it will just cause heat to rise. And that is one huge contributing factor to goggle fog. Now, there is the con of getting shot in the face, which I'll touch on in a little bit, but we'll get there. The next thing on here is I attached my comms to this, which is absolutely huge. That is pretty much what made me stay with this, and I don't think I'll turn back. I just bought a cheap Amazon earpiece that has the plug for my push to talk. I ended up cutting the rod that like routes around the back of your neck that holds it in place. And I just took these sets of pliers here and I kind of bent it and manipulated it to fit it back into the earpiece so I could use that rod to mount it to the mesh piece. It's just held on by like little micro zip ties. But once I tweaked it and bent it to where it's essentially hovering to where it needs to be, the earpiece just sits over my ear. And that was That was one huge thing for me with comms. At the end of the day, I could just never find a comfortable earpiece. I don't wear the headsets. I did go with the D piece, which was the most comfortable one that I found, but at the end of the day, I still didn't like having it there. I don't like anything that goes in my ear, and this, it literally hovers over your ear, and it's not even touching my ear, and I can still hear everything when I'm on the radio. Another thing I like, let me throw it back on here. If I'm on the field and I'm wearing this, and I'm like somewhere safe and I want to take a drink or eat a snack, I can kind of just like pull it down, and the earpiece is still kind of close to my ear. So even though it's off my face for me to eat or drink, I can still hear if someone's on the radio with me. And that's nice because before I would like take the earpiece out or whatever, and like my team would be talking to me or my friends would be trying to find out where I'm at, and I can't hear them because I don't even have my earpiece in my ear. So that's a basic overview of the face protection setup that I absolutely love. Let's just get into some pros and cons before we wrap this up. So the shooter glasses, or that's what I call them. What are the pros? Well, I like that they're low pro. I like that I can get them in prescription because I don't have to worry about having prescription glass and then another layer for the safety glasses, because that's 2 layers that can fog, by the way. Another pro, which I forgot to mention earlier, I'm going to try and do my best to explain it. When you wear glasses like this, they are closer to your face and you have like a wider field of view. When you're wearing something like this mask, it kind of sits off of your face more, and the like frame is a lot bigger and bulkier. So you just can't like see as much in your peripherals, and it's kind of annoying. These are just so much nicer because your vision isn't like restricted being encased in like a bigger, bulkier goggle. So that's a huge pro. What are the cons of eye protection like this? Well, one thing you got to be careful of is, does the field or event allow them? Some places are really strict on full seal, which is a huge gray area in itself. So just make sure that when you go, that you have eye protection that meets the rules and requirements of the event, so you don't travel real far and not be able to play, especially if you run prescription glasses like me. I always bring a backup setup like my old one, just in case they give me a problem. On to my lower face mask. What would be some pros and cons of this? Well, the pros, it's low pro, which I absolutely love. Having my nose exposed makes it super breathable, and I pretty much never fog in this setup. If I do, it has to be a really, really humid day. Another pro is the comms, like they're attached to the mask. It's hovering over my ear, nothing like in my ear, no discomfort to my ear. And another huge benefit is it's cheap. Like you can get this NB Tactical lower mesh mask on Jackal Tactical's website. Thank you, Jackal, for being the sponsor of today's video, by the way. This is an Amazon earpiece. I mean, you could go get some real high quality comms and like maybe this will shit the bed. But even if it shits the bed, I'll just buy another one because it's cheap. And you just get some cheap elastic paracord and this little cincher thing and string it up and you're good to go. But what are the cons? Well, the biggest con of this entire setup, if you haven't already thought about it, is the fact that your face is way less protected than a full face pro, and you can get shot in the face, which I have, and it absolutely sucks. Now, I want you to keep in mind, if I haven't said this enough, this is a setup that works best for me. And when I play Airsoft, I primarily snipe. I'm not saying I can't get my shit pushed in. I certainly do at times, but I am less likely to get lit up close quarters because I'm usually sitting back, but it does happen. And that being said, so far with this setup, I have gotten shot in the face real good twice. And one of them was actually at night, which is funny because I was wearing my night vision setup, which is 2 binoculars, and I managed to get shot across the field right in between the eyes. Luckily, I took the BB right in between the eyes to the face, and it didn't crack the lens of either of my binoculars. The second time was at a recent prison milsim. I just got a little too close to the enemy. We both aimed at each other, shot. I got shot in the nose and it was bleeding pretty bad. But honestly, as crazy as this sounds, so far, it is completely worth it to me. Now, if I get shot in the face like 20 more times this year, I might start to consider switching back to something a little more protective. But just the ability to breathe better, not fog, have a wider field of view, and just be able to fucking see while I'm out on the field, this is worth every penny, and it is worth the 2 times I got shot in the face, and I can't recommend it enough. I think I'm going to wrap up the video here. Thank you for watching. I hope that I covered everything that you'd want to know about my Airsoft face protection setup. If you would like to get this lower mesh mouthpiece, be sure to check out Jackal Tactical because they have it. Check out Zenny for the iPro. And I'm not really going to make a DIY on this. If you can't figure out how to like hook this up, figure the fuck out. It's pretty easy. And if you do ever want to build a high-end VSR 10 or sniper rifle, please check out my friend at vroomarmament.com. He pretty much has everything you need to build a high-end airsoft sniper rifle, like some of the ones that I use in my videos. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I will see you in the next one.